Hi, my name is Anna and I am the owner of Little Wings Sleep. I am a certified sleep coach, and today I want to dive into a really interesting study. I've cited it in the comments below, and we want to look at how does stress impact infants, especially on learning and change, because that's essentially what we're doing when we're changing something with sleep, is that we're having learning and change. It makes a really big difference if we can do this in a way that is conducive to your child's regulation. The first thing that we want to acknowledge is that for us to learn, we need to be in the right brain space. You see, if we're functioning from the neocortex, which is the front of the brain, or the limbic system, which is the midbrain, we're going to have a substantially easier time than if we were functioning from our brainstem. Why? Because when we're functioning from our brainstem, we are functioning from a state of a cortisol release, and we are in a survival, a complete body state of reaction rather than a brain state of reaction. So let's dive into why that happens. When we are learning something new, if we are not supported in a really healthy way, what can happen is our brains actually think that something is alarming us, that things are not okay, and then we get into this fight, flight, or freeze. The study that we're looking at today, what they did is that they tested cortisol levels both in the parent and in the baby. They did this before, when everything was calm, when parents and child were feeling connected, and they taught the baby a novel task. So this means something completely new. And they found that they were able to learn this. They knew what the level of cortisol was. They had a really good baseline reading in this group of babies. Then they removed the parent from the baby and did kind of like other activities. They had some time apart, and they wanted to see what was going to happen, A, to the baby's cortisol levels and the parent's cortisol levels, but B, also to their learning. What impact did it have on this learning? What we do find out is when they're reunited, and also in the tasks that they're doing when they have their cortisol raised, is that it is actually the infant's cortisol levels that impacts their ability to learn. So if their cortisol levels are much higher, they have a harder time learning. However, if we have a baby with lower cortisol levels, they're still able to learn at the same rate, even if their caregiver, their safe person, has raised cortisol levels. So say the parent was stressed out about having that time away from their baby, but the baby wasn't, that didn't impact the baby's learning. So this tells us that the priority here is how the baby's stress levels are doing. We want to focus on having a baby-centric approach, and this is exactly how we approach changes in sleep with Little Wings. In both Sleep Baby and our private coaching, whatever that may look like, is it's baby-centric, not necessarily what is most comfortable for the parent. It's not parent-centric, it's baby-centric. Because when we have a baby who is able to be calmed, then we're best able to teach them skills. So if you look at Sherilyn Orr, her concepts of the stoplight in the brain, one of the things that she teaches is to calm, connect, and coach. So calm yourself so that then you can connect with your child and coach them through the change, calm them down. So us as parents having calmer brains isn't necessarily meaning that they're going to have automatically calmer brains right then in that second. What it means is that we're able to be calm, and so we are not functioning out of fight, flight, and freeze. We can objectively see what needs they have. We're able to connect with them because we're thinking clearly, and then we're able to coach them through it. That is why a calm parent impacts a child. It's because then when they're in that cortisol state, we can see that they have a different need. This is also why cry it out does not work, because it takes 250 to 350 times to learn anything when you're in that fight, flight, and freeze, and that is what is happening with cry it out. Whereas when we are doing a parent-present approach, we're able to be calm, connected, and coach them through it so that the baby-centric, their ability to regulate, they're not able to regulate. That self-regulation isn't a thing for infants. We need co-regulation. We need to bring their cortisol levels down Even if we are feeling stressed out by change, this mismatch of expectations or that uncomfortability in change, it's more important that we reduce their stress so they're better able to learn, and that is how we reduce crying.
Hey there, Mama. Are you feeling exhausted, frustrated, and just a little defeated? I hear you, and I've been there, and thankfully, I can help. Let's teach your baby to sleep. I'm talking 10 to 12 hours of sleep each night. Little Wink's Sleep Baby program uses a science-based, gentle, parent-present approach that fosters healthy attachment while teaching independent sleep skills. We don't believe in letting your baby cry it out. This program includes everything you need, such as our insider strategies, both on night sleep and naps, as well as extras like our monthly live Q&A.